Hi, Riley here to announce to you an exciting new product from TheUsEffect Industries. Have your kids outlived their purpose? Exceeded the raw value of their organs? Well, our digital marketplace empowers you to buy and sell your children. That's right, you raised them, you fed them, you clothed them. Now you can turn a profit. For only $5.99 a month, you too can turn your kids into cash. Well, sadly no, it's not legal. Yet. Maybe. Lawyer?
Nope, it's still all caught up in red tape.
Crap. There goes my get-rich-quick scheme. But what's up with all this regulation stuff? Why can't the free market just be, man? So you've probably heard of the free market, right? Oh, I know! It's that outdoor place where everyone's selling things for really cheap. No. The free market is the idea that people should be allowed to buy and sell goods and services without interference. Free markets are super popular. Everyone from Reagan to Obama has advocated for them. Most Western countries are based on free market principles, and when we talk about capitalism, we're talking about free markets. If you have ever been tortured with Ayn Rand's books, you know two things. That abusive romance novels did not begin with Twilight, and that in America, free markets are viewed as good, and regulation is viewed as evil. Free market advocates believe that humans are rational creatures who maximize their profits by exploiting their strengths. This model of human behavior is often called Homo Economicus, a creature endowed with pure reason, capable of making rational decisions at every point. According to free market theory, given sufficient time and freedom, the wealth of all people goes up by their ability to buy and sell freely. They're willing to admit that some inequities will exist, but they insist that it's temporary, and that a rising tide lifts all boats. It's a pretty persuasive idea. If we were built to create a better world just by doing what's in our own self-interest, life would be very grand. But as it happens, researchers just won't let us has a happies, and there's a lot of evidence that rains on this theoretical parade. Why that is happens to be a difficult question, but it's an important one. Too important for one video, so as part 1 of this video series, we're going to learn why the assumption that Homo Economicus exists is a pretty big error in theoretical judgment. See, the human mind isn't a computer program. We have lots of biases towards things that don't make any rational sense. And among the chief of these in disproving the existence of Homo Economicus is hyperbolic discounting. This effect causes us to make decisions differently based on how far off in time they are from us. In essence, we prefer quick rewards to bigger, smarter ones that take longer to obtain. This is famously framed in The Experiment, where subjects are asked whether they would prefer $100 today or $110 tomorrow. Research has found that subjects consistently prefer the $100, despite there being a distinct advantage to waiting a day. However, if the question is reframed to put more distance between the subject and the decision, like, would you prefer $100 a year from now or $110 a year and a day from now, the answer suddenly flips, even though there is no difference in time between the two choices. This doesn't just affect dumb schlubs either. There's ample evidence that even the most expert financial institutions are just as short-sighted and preferential towards quick payoffs. We see it all the time in outsourcing, wage shrinkage, and the mortgage crisis that crashed our economy. Even though other policies would be much more profitable in the long run, the short-term money is just too enticing. Regulation can cut down on this effect by reducing the pace of trade and holding companies to long-term obligations. This both cuts down on companies' short-sighted investments that can harm wider society and protects consumers from their own internal impulses being exploited. But there are things that fall outside of the purview of regulability, things that don't just block our rationality, but really come close to mind hacking. Research into new marketing techniques has spawned the field of Neuro advertisement. Among the freakiest things discovered here is that the mind is more receptive to an advertisement's message after the trust-building chemical oxytocin is released into the brain. Thanks to the triggering of mirror neurons in the brain, getting oxytocin flowing is actually pretty simple. These brain bits allow us to sympathize with others as if we were leading their lives. Even on the screen, seeing a happy family or somebody playing with their pet gets the oxytocin flowing in us. Consequentially, we're more trusting of an advertisement's message. You know all those ads that are vaguely funny or happy, but which really have nothing to do with the product? More likely than not, those were designed by an advertising executive to make you more trusting while they shill things to you. As neuroimaging gets better, our ability to target adverts at our instincts is only going to grow. That means that our ability to objectively assess what we're being sold is crap, and it is only going to get crappier.
Whatever, dude. We beat the Soviet Union's ass because we had the free market.
Well, we'll get into that in the next 2 weeks and get a better idea of what's really going on. In the meantime, just remember that we as creatures are not the rationality machines we're made out to be. Our emotions and our perception of what is rational can be twisted, both by internal mechanisms and external tampering. And our best hope for keeping these issues at bay is to, say it with me now, step back and ask a few questions. So for now, keep mindful and keep cool. We've got 2 more weeks to go on this subject, so until then, peace until next week.